Rich people of Reddit that were poor before. How did money solve your problems and what new problems have appeared? Money allows me to not worry. It doesn't make me happy, but it frees up my mind to be happy because I don't have to spend time worrying about how I'm going to pay the next bill. Lifestyle creep is a very real thing if you're looking for a problem. We've gotten used to this level of money, so if it were to go away, it would be a pretty big problem pretty quickly. Our bills have risen along with our income. I can now buy good gifts for my friends/family. Downside, now I can't get them shitty gifts. Went through childhood in the foster system and fell through the cracks. Ended up homeless a few times. Anyways, I'm not a 1%er, but I do make more than 80% of Americans, yearly salary wise. Money relieved me of stress. When I go shopping I don't check my bank account before I make a purchase. I have insurance, so I'm not afraid to go to the dentist or doctor. Going out with friends is fun because I know I won't be financially struggling from a night out. It ultimately brought me a level of stability I never was used to, and I'm incredibly grateful. My new problems I wouldn't call problems. Home maintenance, car upkeep, bills, etc. I'm grateful those are my main worries these days. Fawning service industry people. Waitstaff, hotel, retail store people. It's embarrassing sometimes because I don't know how to react. I have a sister who is middle class and 3 kids. I'm relied on to provide certain expensive things for the kids. Once in a while is fine. It's fun. But because I have no kids, she thinks there should be a constant stream of fun activities and gifts coming from me, because what else are you spending your money on? Not rich currently, but due to my work skills I have been both flush with cash and scraping by. This position changes every so often. When I had excess, fuck it level of money, my immediate needs were taken care of, so I could focus on other things/take on new projects. People don't realize that when you don't have to worry about food for the next month or months, basic household bills for the next month or months, fuel for the car, you are so free to spend your energy on other projects and learn new things. For me, the issue is that having that much disposable income is the temptation to spend it. Lifestyle creep and keeping up with the Jones will destroy people if the cash flow ever gets interrupted. Without that cash flow you can't afford your mortgage or your new car. I avoided it, luckily. Many others have not. I bought a small house and a nice 15-year-old truck when I had the money, and then I stopped. I put my money in the bank/invested it. My monthly stay alive cost is under 1k. When the good times end, I still keep the lights on working a low-paying job. My biggest difference is now that I can wait till something is in sale and cheap instead of need to replace it when it broke. It allows me to get better quality for the same amount of money. For example, laundry machine is -50% during sales, so I can buy the quality of a $1,000 instead of a low end of the market for $500. Grew of middle class until 12 years old. Then mom had a stroke and parents lost family business and was essentially piss poor broke. I think parents sheltered my brothers and I from it a lot. Always had something to eat, but always moving around different homes. Christmas presents consisted of socks, underwear and candy bars. It sucked during high school. I was jealous. Went to college, got a job, and so did my brothers. My brother started doing well and started supporting our parents. I ended up going to med school, getting through residency, still paying off massive loans, but now in a place where I don't have to worry about my car breaking down. I can go to Whole Foods. I can buy friends and family dinner without thinking about it. I can pay for my parents' dental work without thinking too much about it. I can invest in stocks, invest in a good home, maintain the home and my cars and even make money on my house by investing correctly. The biggest difference is that now I can make financial decisions that on their own make money for me with real estate and with investing. And the ratio of this easy capital gains money only gets better every year. When you are poor you own nothing and the only way of making money is to work. But if your paycheck can't support your lifestyle it is very difficult to break cycle. We weren't really that poor, but we lost a good part of our income and the biggest problem is I can't spend money without stressing about how many hours I will have to work to pay it off. Not rich by 1% standards. Never been poor, I always had a support system, even if I had no money myself. That being said, the number one thing I noticed is holidays aren't as stressful because money isn't an issue. Shopping for presents is relatively easy because I'm limited by creativity, not weighing how ashamed am I going to be to give this crappy gift to someone vs how much do I want to eat this week. I grew up without much money and was the first in my family to go to college. After college I kept on going education wise and now have a job that lands me in the top 1% of earners. First the good. Grocery shopping without that sinking feeling of having to put something back because I miscalculated. No more clipping coupons. Nicer stuff. Clothes, car, house, electronics. Able to set all credit cards to automatically pay in full every month. Nicer hotels and vacations. Unique experiences, access to politicians, musicians, VIP areas etc. Able to donate big sums of money to causes I care about. No more stressing about bills. They all get paid in full automatically. I can hire people to do the many of the things that used to take up my free time. Laundry, house cleaning, errands etc. I can take care of my family and friends when needed. The US system is designed by the rich to help them maintain and grow wealth. My stock holdings have made $600 so far while typing this. Now the bad. I try to be discreet because once people find out I have money they try to separate me from it. Whether it's in the form of fees, inflated quotes, was quoted to K to clean my tile floors once, or requests for loans, gifts, or investments. Everyone wants a piece. I have to worry about what my money is doing. Once my checks started coming in, I had $signs sitting in my checking account for months at a time. Now I have to move it around to make ITH grow. 401k, brokerage accounts, real estate syndication etc. Similarly, any new friends not in my income bracket are suspect. It sucks but I have to consider people's motives. I have to make sure my kids aren't entitled little brats and don't grow up to be entitled, awful adults. The main problems come from being in that place where enough is never enough. As long as I watch my spending, I can mostly buy the occasional thing I want, but I don't have enough that I can buy whatever. It's also a dilemma when it comes to helping out my friends. I don't have enough that I can afford to solve or really significantly impact my friends' financial problems, while at the same time I want to be generous/helpful when I can. On the gripping hand, it becomes easy to be taken for granted or even worse, taken advantage of. Springing for the occasional meal can easily become being expected to pay for restaurants that are more expensive than I want to be going to in the first place. You want to nip that shit in the bud real quick. But I have a lot of friends who are literally looking through couch cushions for gas money. At the same time, if I gave them gas money all the time, I wouldn't be able to pay my own bills. So it sucks to sit there and have to figure out when I can actually help vs when I'm lighting myself on fire to keep someone else warm. I'm not rich, but I went from making restaurant wages to having a salaried job with the state with benefits. Last night I was at Target buying towels and was getting my usual $10 towels. I was putting them in the basket when I stopped and realized I didn't have to get those anymore. Walked another aisle over and got much nicer towels because I could afford it. You don't have to be rich to enjoy some better things when you were dirt poor for nearly a decade. As far as downsides, I'm still not rich, so I can't splurge that often on other things. Went from extremely lower middle class, where I didn't carry insurance because I couldn't afford it and could never pay all my bill in any given month, to 1%er. The biggest difference is bar none the loss of that fear and shame. My wife is an incredibly empathetic, sympathetic person, but she came from money and doesn't understand the feeling. The stress, shame, and sleeplessness that comes from not having money just can't be explained unless you've lived them. Not having that feeling, just knowing I can buy what I want, within reason, don't confuse the 1% with the 0.01%, is one of the greatest changes in my life. Having come from almost nothing to where I'm at now, there are no problems. The problems I face now are totally first world problems, because money. Kinda the opposite here. Was fairly wealthy living in a large single family home. Now living in a 250 SQFT trailer. The biggest thing is probably not having the time to be able to enjoy ourselves. Working 7 days a week just to make ends meet isn't fun. Before, we could go anywhere on a whim and not have to worry about missing out on the money. One thing I can say for sure though is I will never take normal things for granted ever again. How I miss having a dishwasher and a clothes washer and counter space. I miss having an oven big enough for a tray of cookies. I miss having more than one bathroom in the house. If I were to ever have these things again, I'd never ever look at them how I did before. I'd be eternally more grateful than I ever had been.